This is a girl named Yuvi who is a housewife. After marriage, she quit her job because her husband is rich. It's been 6 years since their wedding, but they haven't had any children, which has caused her husband to lose respect for her. He ignores her every day and doesn't treat her with any dignity. Her routine includes making breakfast for him in the morning, cleaning the house all day, and then serving dinner when he comes home in the evening. She stands beside him while he eats, only to be ignored again. Her name is Choi. One day, he reminds her, "You know we have a wedding to attend this weekend, right? Dress well so people think you're young, not old." That evening, Yuvi goes grocery shopping, where she sees an old lady arguing at the counter. The old woman insists she gave her card to the cashier, but the cashier denies it. Yuvi notices the card in the lady's bag and pretends to accidentally drop it, staging a little drama to make it seem like she found it on the floor. But the old lady's car doesn't start, it's too old, and she doesn't have any cash. So Yuvi pays for her groceries. As Yuvi steps out of the store, the old lady asks her for a bit more money. Soon the weekend arrives, and Yuvi dresses up nicely for the wedding. There she meets a woman who works in a bank and offers her a job, giving her a card. After the event, Yuvi rides back home with her best friend, who asks how everything's going. The friend brings up the credit card Yuvi uses, but Yuvi says her card is lost and she hasn't informed the bank yet. A flashback shows a time when Yuvi's friend was caught stealing money in class. Yuvi saw her, but instead of reporting her, she quietly placed some money from her own pocket where her friend had stolen it. From that day, her friend held Yuvi in high regard. That night, Yuvi cooks dinner for her husband and happily shares the story about helping the old woman, hoping to have a real conversation. But he coldly ignores her and criticizes her for carrying cash, saying, "Only poor people carry cash. Use my card instead." Yuvi declines, but he snaps back, "Even the cash you use is from my salary." This deeply upsets Yuvi. She goes to the bathroom and injects herself with hormones to increase her chances of getting pregnant, even though her husband hasn't touched her in years. It's like he believes babies just fall from the sky. The next day, she goes to the hospital for a checkup and keeps calling her husband, but he doesn't show up, he's off getting a massage from other women. When she gets home, she finds a diary where her husband has listed every single expense he's made on her over the last 6 years. It's disgusting. A husband's job is to support his family, not track expenses like this. Yuvi is shocked and realizes she has to take control of her life. She applies for the bank job and gets selected. At work, she handles smelly, difficult customers, but also takes on field assignments, visiting wealthy clients who don't come to the bank. She and her manager go to a luxurious area filled with villas. Their first client is an old lady, the same woman Yuvi helped in the supermarket. She recognizes Yuvi and repays the money she borrowed that day. The manager asks how they can help, and the lady says, "My washing machine is broken. Can you fix it?" Strange, since they came for banking purposes. Yuvi checks the machine but says nothing. The old lady opens an account and deposits 200 million won. Her manager is impressed with Yuvi. Next day, Yuvi visits another client, an old man who gives her stacks of money, which she packs into a bag. He suddenly grabs her hand, making it clear his intentions are not good. Then he starts yelling and hitting his maid, firing her for no reason when she asks for her salary. The maid steals a bundle of money and runs away. Yuvi silently watches all of this. Then a new character enters, the old man's grandson, who witnessed everything. Yuvi is happy with her job. She gets her first salary and runs to the mall to buy couple watches for her and her husband, hoping to show him that she earns now. She also goes to a cosmetics store, but realizes she doesn't have enough cash to pay. As she hesitates, a salesgirl runs to assist a new customer instead, which embarrasses Yuvi. That's when Yuvi gets a dangerous idea. She opens her bag, pulls out 2 or 3 bills from the customer's cash bundle and pays. It's the first time she's ever stolen. She runs to an ATM, withdraws money, and replaces the amount in the bag. Though it seems simple, this act changes her life. Later, she bumps into a young man on the street. It's the old man's grandson Yunmin. His resume ends up in Yuvi's shopping bag by mistake. We learn that Yunmin studies at a drama university. He had gone to his grandfather that day to ask for money because his friend got seriously injured during a short film shoot. But the grandfather refused and kicked him out. Right then, income tax officers arrived at the old man's house. In a panic, he handed Yuvi a bag filled with documents, bank passbooks hiding huge sums of money, to keep safe, promising her rewards and commission. Yuvi discovers billions of won in these documents. Later, Yunmin shows up at her bank applying for a student loan, but it's rejected due to incomplete documents. It's raining, so Yuvi gives him an umbrella. Days later, the old man asks for the bag back. Yuvi returns it, but he tells her, "Keep it for now. I still feel unsafe. Here's a gift, there's cake inside." She takes it. Later, she meets Yunmin at a restaurant to return his resume. She tells him not to be sad, his grandfather will eventually come around. Then she opens the gift box, and finds lingerie inside. Furious, she drives off and packs the gift box with the same cash she had taken earlier, planning to give it to Yunmin. That night after dinner, Yunmin invites her over to return the umbrella. He lives in a small rooftop house and tells her his parents abandoned him as a child. His grandfather was a loan shark, and thugs would come demanding money. He was beaten often, so one day he staged a kidnapping and escaped. Suddenly, Yuvi starts to faint, so Yunmin helps her. She leaves, but forgets the white box filled with cash. Yunmin rushes to the bank the next day to return the money, saying, "Why are you giving me this?" Yuvi tells him, "This is just the beginning. Watch what else you'll receive." She insists she didn't know what was in the box, and that it was given by his grandfather. The old man calls Yuvi again and says, "You know all the money is legal, right? Just keep it secret. I'll pay you well." She refuses, saying she doesn't want his money. As she walks out, he offers her a ride, saying they'll go to a hotel and spend the night together. Yuvi smirks and says, "I'll call your grandson. He can take you out. And that box you gave me? I gave it to him." The old man panics. At the same time, Yunmin arrives with the box. Yuvi stops him, but the old man says, "Don't open it." He doesn't want his grandson to see how vile he is. Eventually, he throws both of them out. Yunmin thanks Yuvi and walks away. In the evening, Yuvi had brought her husband to a French restaurant. When they arrived and saw old men sitting around, he said, "Where have you brought me?" She explained that she had arranged this dinner for him from her own salary. But Choi said, "You found such a cheap place? If you wanted French food, you should have told me. I would have booked a proper place." She smiled because she already knew he would react this way. Then she gifted him a watch that she had bought from her very first salary. Choi said, "Wow, what a watch. Okay, I'll wear this while playing tennis. Did you buy one for yourself too? You can wear it while doing house chores." Yuvi felt very hurt because she had bought that gift from half her salary, and he considered it something so cheap that it could only be used while playing tennis. She had hoped he would wear it at a big party or event, but nothing like that happened. She started serving him food and after the meal asked, "How was it?" Her husband rudely replied, "I already told you I like French food." Yuvi felt very sad. She had thought that after earning money, her husband would treat her better, talk nicely, and most importantly, respect her. But for Choi, everything Yuvi did felt cheap. While returning home, Yuvi got off the taxi midway and started walking alone. On the way, she met Yunmin. They sat down and started talking. Yunmin gave her a ticket to a performance event happening at their university. Later, Yuvi went to meet her friend, who also gave her the same ticket, since she too worked as an assistant to some students at the same university, which we'll see more of later. So, both Yunmin and her friend had given her the same ticket. That evening, Choi took Yuvi to another French restaurant, which was very expensive. He wanted to show off, like saying, "This is how rich people dine. Look where you had taken me, to some place for poor people." When Yuvi was served a dish, she said, "Is this a snail?" and ended up dropping it. Choi felt embarrassed and thought she would humiliate him in such an upscale place. Then he gifted her a watch, which was very expensive, as if to say, "What you gave me, the way you treated me, it was all so cheap. I'm rich, I can do much more than you." Yuvi felt nauseous and extremely upset. She ran home and later overheard Choi talking on the phone, saying he had given away all the baby products kept at home to someone else. She rushed to the room and saw all the baby stuff was gone. She asked him why he gave it away and he said, "You can't even have a child, so what's the point of keeping these at home?" The next morning, he left the country for a few weeks on a business trip. Yuvi cleaned the house, and while doing that, she found Yunmin's ticket. She tore it up and threw it away. She spent the entire day cleaning the house, then began talking to the moon. Suddenly, she changed her clothes and rushed to the university to watch the performance. But by the time she arrived, the performance had already ended. As she was leaving, she saw someone putting up directions on a car. She followed and realized it was Yunmin. He said, "You're early. I was just putting up the signs." Then he grabbed her hand and kissed her. Yuvi pulled back and her ring fell off, though she didn't notice it. Then they both kissed. We're shown another scene. Once, Yuvi had gone to a party with her husband. Choi had bought her a very expensive red dress, not for her, but to maintain his own reputation, so people would think his wife wears fancy clothes. At that party, Choi's boss's wife turned out to be Yuvi's former classmate. They started chatting, and Choi was shocked that Yuvi knew such a rich woman. Back home, Yuvi tried to unzip her dress in front of him, hoping it might trigger something romantic. But he instead asked her how many more rich people she knew and if she could introduce them so he could boost his own career. Later, he wrote in his diary about the red dress, how much it cost and how much he'd spent on his wife. He commented that he got a high return on a cheap investment. You can imagine what he meant. Yuvi was extremely angry. The next day, Yuvi went to a villa area where she met the old lady again. The old lady said, "Go away. You smell like mistakes. Get away from me." But Yuvi brought her home, cleaned her up, gave her a bath, and took care of her. For her services, she asked the lady to withdraw 30 million won from her account and deposit the rest for 5 years in the bank. The old lady also spoke about her past, which made Yuvi feel uneasy. While returning in the metro, Yuvi met Yunmin. They sat in a park, and he gave her a gift, chopsticks. He had also brought homemade food. He said, "I know you're left-handed, but you can eat with your right hand using these chopsticks." Then he revealed that his father was in the hospital and he had taken out a huge loan for his treatment. Yuvi returned to the bank and learned that a wealthy man had come and deposited a huge amount of money. The branch manager praised Yuvi for bringing in such high-value customers. It turned out the man was the son of the old lady Yuvi had helped. He even left some extra money for Yuvi. Yuvi then withdrew the 30 million won and went to deliver it to the old lady as promised. But when she was about to leave, the old lady stopped her and said, "Keep this 30 million and deposit it for me. My daughter gave it to me as pocket money." This surprised Yuvi because she had just given this money to her moments ago. The old lady was suffering from memory loss. Yuvi took the money again and, on her way out, remembered Yunmin needed money. A strong idea formed in Yuvi's mind. At the bank, one of her colleagues was short by 5,000 won in her ledger. Quietly, Yuvi took that amount from the old lady's money and gave it to her, then submitted it silently. Her colleague was shocked. Yuvi had never helped her or even spoken kindly before. And for such a large amount? After work, Yuvi's mind was in turmoil. The old lady always forgot after giving the money. That night, she went to return the money again, but the old man arrived and said, "Tell Yunmin to return my money or else. I want interest too." Yuvi asked, "What kind of person are you? You want interest from your own grandson?" The old man threatened her, "If he doesn't repay, I'll send one of his organs back." That's how Korea works. Yuvi, distressed, started writing the old lady's name in a notebook along with the amount. She decided to keep the money, knowing the old lady would forget. She called Yunmin to a restaurant to give him the money to repay the loan. Yunmin refused. Yuvi said, "Then give me 3% interest. Just take it." But Yunmin knew she wouldn't take the money back, so he left without it. That night, loan sharks beat up Yunmin for not paying. The next morning, Yuvi went to his place and saw it was a mess. She remembered Yunmin had said, "I'll only take money from you when I do something good for myself or for you." Yuvi called him to a hotel she had booked so he could stay there for a few days, write his screenplay in peace, and live well. While he went to shower, she left the money behind. Then she received a call from the bank. The old lady had come. Yuvi panicked, thinking she had been caught. But no, the old lady had come to deposit money. No one knew how much money she had hidden at home. The supervisor called Yuvi just to get her signature and told her to enjoy her vacation. She even praised the watch that Choi had gifted Yuvi. As Yuvi was heading home, she kept thinking about Yunmin. She turned the car around and went to the hotel, hoping Yunmin would love her. When she returned home that evening, her two friends had come over. One of them kept flashing a ring in front of Yuvi. Let me tell you, that was the same ring that had fallen off when Yuvi and Yunmin kissed at the university event. Her friend had been there, had seen them, picked up the ring, and was now showing it off to hint that she knew everything. We see another flashback. Once Yuvi's friend was drowning, and though Yuvi didn't know how to swim, she jumped in to save her. Later, they were both rescued. Yuvi had said, "Even if I can't save you, I'll drown with you." That touched her friend deeply, because Yuvi had always supported her. During dinner and drinks, her friend kept flashing the ring. Meanwhile, Yunmin had used the money to pay for his father's hospital bills. With the stolen money, Yuvi had also rented a suite for him for a few months. She began living with him. Their relationship began. They ate, slept, and did everything together. Yunmin even earned his first income, and Yuvi felt proud, like a sugar mommy saying, "My boy finally made money." But Yuvi was scared. What if the truth came out? She had stolen money from the old lady. She ran away from the hotel, gave Yunmin her bank card saying, "Spend as much as you want. Your mom will pay for it," and had a panic attack. She started selling off valuable items from home and returned the stolen money to the old lady. But how would she now pay for the hotel suite? She didn't know. She had thought, well, Yunmin is the old man's grandson, so technically that money was his anyway. And she began living a luxurious life with him while her husband was away on his business trip. One day, her supervisor saw her leaving the hotel with the 19-year-old Yunmin. The next day, she asked Yuvi, "Do you have a younger brother or something?" Yuvi lied and said, "No, he's my cousin. I even have a child who lives abroad." She hadn't told anyone at work that she couldn't have kids, fearing she'd be mocked. The supervisor found it strange, a woman nearly 40 leaving a hotel with a 19-year-old. She casually asked if Yuvi had stayed at the hotel. Yuvi lied. But then Yuvi noticed her supervisor always seemed relaxed and well-fed, and no one ever said anything to her. Yuvi checked CCTV footage and realized the supervisor's desk was in a blind spot, no cameras there. She could do anything without being caught. Yuvi used to give her supervisor the certificates people received after depositing money, so she could stamp them and return them to customers. One day, there was a power outage in the bank. Everyone panicked and ran. Yuvi took this opportunity to print something using that slip, but the lights went out, and she got trapped inside. When the power returned, the printer spit out the copy. The supervisor saw it and asked, "What is this?" Yuvi said, "The power went out, so I put it here for safekeeping. Otherwise, it might have gotten lost." The supervisor said, "Wow, you're so clever," and destroyed the printed slip. But only one copy wasn't printed. Yuvi had secretly taken another one. Just then, that same friend of hers with the ring comes to the bank. She had some work there, but since it's an emergency, she can't get it done. Yuvi, using the excuse of dropping her off, goes to her car and discreetly slips the document inside. Then she returns to the bank. There's a rule at the bank that if the power goes out and an emergency arises, a thorough check is conducted on all staff to ensure nothing was stolen. Yuvi knew this, so she had already hidden the slip. During the inspection, nothing is found on her. That evening, she goes to the old man's house and tells him that there was an emergency at the bank and that it might take a few more days to deposit his money. The old man hands her his bag again and tells her to withdraw the money from the bank and keep it with her. Inside the bag is the same passbook from which Yuvi has already withdrawn 5 million won. Fearing getting caught, she says that no banking transactions are happening right now. That very day, she rushes to her friend's place, retrieves the slip from her car, and claims it fell there by accident. Her friend asks, "But why are you making copies of the deposit slip? What do you need them for?" Yuvi then goes to Yunmin again, and the two of them have some fun and spend the night together. One day, at the bank, an employee shows some paper to the supervisor. The paper was bought from a nearby shop. The supervisor says, "Hey, this paper looks exactly like the ones we use for checks and deposit slips." Yuvi overhears everything. The supervisor has been working at the bank since school days. She can tell just by touching a piece of paper where it's used. Hearing this, Yuvi goes and buys a large number of such papers in the evening. That night, she starts copying the deposit slips at home. She begins editing them, entering fake amounts, tweaking the details, and then prints them out, perfectly realistic fakes. The next day, she comes to the bank and gets them stamped under the old man's name. With all those slips, she heads to a store where she buys multiple stamps that are necessary for official-looking paperwork. You must have seen such stamps on letters too. She buys the stamps and returns home, fully engaged in creating fake deposit slips, printing, stamping, inserting her own amounts. The next day, she goes to the hotel where Yunmin has been staying, as their stay is about to end. The hotel bill is around 7 million won, which, if I convert to Indian currency, is about 4.5 Indian rupees lakhs. That includes room fees, food, everything combined. Meanwhile, Yunmin has written a great script, but when he tries selling it to companies, they offer very little money. So, he refuses and instead heads to a restaurant with a friend. But now that he's used to luxury hotel living, he finds restaurant food unbearable. His tastes have turned bougie. The next day, Yuvi visits the villa again, checking out VIP steamers. Outside the old man's house, she spots Yunmin. She stops him and takes him to a restaurant. Yunmin shares that nobody wants to buy his story or turn it into a film. Yuvi also liked the script. Yunmin had gone to ask his grandfather for money to produce the film himself, but he had returned 7 days early and discovered that Yuvi had bought expensive shorts and ties for him. He says, "Looks like your salary has gone up. If you want pocket money, just let me know." Yuvi replies, No, I bought these from my bonus." In reality, she used customer money from the bank to buy all those items. She never deposited the money. Instead, she handed fake deposit slips to the customers and kept the real money for herself. Got it? That's how she was operating. At home, even the robot does the cleaning. A dry cleaning machine has arrived. When he checks the price, he realizes she's gotten even richer. During dinner, he tells her to quit her job since he's getting relocated abroad and they'll live there together. Yuvi says no, absolutely not. He says, "I'll give you the same amount of money you earn now. You'll like it, having a maid cook for me, clean the house, do the laundry. Won't it feel good?" Yuvi gives a savage comeback. "I'll pay for it. Go ahead and enjoy." Her husband is left speechless. As I said earlier, they had returned 7 days early. Her boss, who's also her voice patient, hasn't gone home. He's staying at a hotel for some fun. Suddenly, there's an announcement that a marriage proposal cake is ready for pickup under Yuvi's name. Choi, her husband, is shocked. "Who's collecting a cake under my wife's name?" Standing right there is Yunmin. He had booked it because the hotel he's staying at is the same fancy hotel where the cake is to be picked up. Yuvi's friend comes to pick up the cake because she knows Yuvi and Yunmin are having an affair. After all, she's the same friend who had picked up the ring earlier, and Yuvi had helped her a lot in childhood, so of course she would do this. Choi questions her, why is there a booking under his wife's name? Why the cake? The friend lies, saying she booked it with Yuvi's permission because she doesn't want to make her relationship public. Now Choi gets suspicious. Because whatever else, this man is sharp. Meanwhile, Yuvi is collecting money from all the VIP customers, giving them fake slips at night, and keeping the real money for herself. She gives the money to Yoon-min to make his movie. From barely affording food, now she's funding an entire film. Later, Yoon-min gifts her a car. Full-on luxury mode. To celebrate, they go out, where Yoon-min's classmates are also present. Yuvi's friend is there too, she's the assistant for those students, remember? There's a confrontation. The friend tells Yuvi, you shouldn't cheat on your husband or ruin the life of a 19-year-old boy. Think about your own life. But as soon as the party ends, Yuvi goes home and starts printing slips again. The next day, she gifts Yoon-min an expensive suit because he has an important meeting. Meanwhile, Choi visits her office out of curiosity and is shocked by the shabby condition. He thinks, how do such underpaid people live so lavishly? How did my wife become so rich? He doesn't know that she works outside the office handling customers. He runs into a well-dressed man at the office and greets him respectfully. The man walks ahead, straight to Yuvi. Choi sees it and assumes his wife is having an affair with that guy. Once suspicion enters your mind, it connects all the dots, right? But the man walks past Yuvi, he's actually there to meet the team leader. His wife also happens to be there and knows Yuvi. She tells Choi, your wife does great work. We want to transfer her to headquarters to manage a new business we're starting. Choi is shocked. His wife has made such a name for herself? Next day, he takes her to a posh HQ office and shows it off, saying, VIPs come here. Not just anyone. He tells her about the transfer offer too. But Yuvi rejects it. She says, no, I won't do it. Because if she transfers, how will she print fake slips and commit fraud? Choi storms off angrily and gets a dental checkup at a hospital to cool down. Meanwhile, Yuvi rents a villa for Yoon-min. Here, my baby will work peacefully, she says. Sugar mommy mode unlocked. At home, Choi is eating and asks her to put the plate away. Yuvi walks away without responding. Choi burns with rage. The woman who used to stand near me just to talk while I ate now ignores me completely. He says, pack your bags, we're going abroad. Yuvi replies, I'm not coming. I've already rented an apartment for myself. I'll live there. Translation, she wants a divorce. Choi screams that he wants all the money he ever spent on her back, right now. This man is truly despicable. You've never seen a husband like him. Yuvi rushes to gather the money to throw in his face, but it's not enough. She asks for her villa's security deposit, but that money never comes back. Suddenly, she gets a message from a colleague. You remember her, right? The one Yuvi helped once when the principal amount was short. The message says, come to my house at this address, or I'll reveal your secret. Yuvi panics and leaves at night. Choi secretly follows her, wondering where his wife is going in the dark. He sees her enter a house. There, Choi finds his wife and another girl, bruised, holding a knife. The girl's been beaten badly. Choi tells Yuvi to come with him, but she refuses and takes her colleague to the police station instead. Turns out, the girl's boyfriend is abusive and possibly mentally unstable. This is a domestic violence case. Afterward, Choi scolds Yuvi for spending money from their savings to help her colleague's case. He yells at her. Just then, the girl says, don't worry, I'll return the 50 million won in a few days. The next day, she treats Yuvi to a nice meal. As Yuvi thinks she's being thanked, the girl says, give me 100 million won or I'll expose your secret. I'll give 50 million to your husband and keep the rest. Yuvi starts looking for new customers. Ones who are easier to rob, especially those with black money. One day, she visits the old lady's house again, where that same colleague is now working part-time as a house cleaner. She tells Yuvi she's always wanted to go to Thailand and open a restaurant. Yuvi gives the girl a little money and tells her to take care of the old lady. The girl replies, this is all you have? I need 100 million, I'll keep 50 and give the other 50 to your husband. After this, Yuvi traps a rich customer, a very wealthy woman with a large amount of unaccounted black money stashed away, unknown even to her family. Now, she wants to store the money for a few years with interest and trust. Yuvi tells her that since the amount is large and she's a VIP, she'll have to make a call to the bank just before closing time. The bank is about to close, and the woman has already deposited 200 million. Yuvi counts the money, registers it in the passbook, everything seems normal. But just at closing time, the rich lady calls. Yuvi answers, and the lady says the VIP service is no longer available and requests her to just deposit the money, then cuts the call. However, Yuvi doesn't hang up and says, alright, we'll do that, and tells her supervisor that the lady canceled the deposit and wants her money back. Though the passbook already shows the deposit as complete, Yuvi pretends to destroy the record in front of the manager and gives the real passbook back to the rich lady, saying, here, your money is safe and deposited. But she keeps all the money for herself. As she's walking out, she bumps into the same colleague who had earlier demanded money from her. The next day, the rich lady calls Yuvi again and this time brings her friends along, all of them loaded with cash. By now, Yuvi has become a financial advisor, taking people's money, investing it with interest, generating returns, and giving them profit. That's her new job. These women also want to hand over their money to Yuvi and receive profits. Yuvi, now scared of getting caught, starts refusing. But the women insist, saying she's the only one they trust. Then we see Yuvi at Yunmin's villa, luxurious bedroom, carpets, lavish lifestyle, all funded with stolen money. Yunmin is living large. The next day, he takes Choi to a restaurant and gifts her sunglasses because Yuvi agreed to work at the headquarters and start her own financial advisory business. Suddenly, Yuvi's old colleague calls and starts threatening her, saying she knows everything, that Yuvi steals money, and if she doesn't return it, she'll expose her. Yuvi panics, rushes home, and starts burning everything she has, papers, printer, just in case there's a raid. She doesn't want to get caught. Just then, the rich lady walks in and sees all the burning. She picks up one of the diaries and is shocked to find the names of very rich people in it. The ladies now think Yuvi must be handling money for some really big clients. They begin to trust her even more as a legit financial advisor. One day, Yuvi's bank supervisor comes to her office, compliments it, and asks, "Where did you keep the money?" Yuvi is terrified, thinking she's been caught. But the supervisor reveals that the colleague we were talking about, the one who demanded 100 million, was caught flushing cash down the toilet because she used to steal from the bank with her boyfriend. During a routine inspection, she was about to be exposed, but someone tipped her off and she escaped. She's never been seen again. The supervisor asks Yuvi if she knows where the girl might be, but Yuvi genuinely has no idea. The next day at her office, an old man arrives. He's the son of the old lady. He tells Yuvi he's now handling his mother's business and will be dealing with her moving forward. Soon after, the rich ladies return with their passbooks, asking to withdraw some of their money as they're planning to start a company. But they have no idea Yuvi has already blown most of the money on her lifestyle. To buy time, Yuvi tells them that if she withdraws everything at once, they'll draw attention from the income tax department. So she convinces them to take the money slowly, bit by bit. But now she desperately needs cash to give them. She contacts the villa's security and asks about the deposit. They say, "What deposit?" Yunmin never paid rent, and the deposit was adjusted into that. And now Yunmin is squatting in the villa. Yuvi tries to call Yunmin, but he's too busy partying with his friends and ignores her calls. The next day, the rich lady calls and asks Yuvi for 400 million. They want to invest in real estate. Yuvi is panicking. Where will she get the money? Just then the old lady's son calls Yuvi. He saw a slip and realized everything is fake. Yuvi is scared. But he says, "Don't worry, I won't report you. Just keep doing what you're doing, we'll become really rich in the future." Meanwhile, the crazy boyfriend of Yuvi's old colleague is roaming the streets, beating people up, and is now on his way to Yuvi. He comes to demand money. Yuvi throws cash down at him from above, and the greedy guy starts collecting it. Yuvi secretly signals her colleague to run away. And that's when the story wraps up. We get to see some final scenes. Yunmin has broken up with Yuvi. Yuvi meets her husband and thanks him for staying with her for so many years and taking care of her. Then, she leaves the country and disappears. A few days later, police find the body of the same colleague girl. She's dead. Along with the body, they find a glass-breaking tool with Yuvi's fingerprints on it, because she had once used it to throw money down. The entire suspicion now shifts to Yuvi. Everyone suspects she killed the girl. An investigation begins. But even though everyone knows Yuvi used to launder money and scam people who had illegal black money, no one files a complaint. But because even owning black money is a crime. If they go to the police, they'll get caught too. So no one reports her. Meanwhile, Choi has gone crazy. He's smashing his house in rage, saying, "What the hell did my wife do?" In the house, he finds two boxes, one filled with cash and another with a note that reads, "For all the money you spent on me in the last 6 years, here's the same amount, maybe even a little more. I know you don't like change and prefer keeping cash. You always used to say, only poor people keep spare cash, right? So enjoy it." And the final scene? We see Yuvi in Thailand, living a peaceful and comfortable life. She's finally free and living the life she always wanted. If you liked the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel.